good morning. I am Patty, the Outreach Program Coordinator from Tiniciti Preschool.
And my name is Andy, and I'm Tiniciti Preschool's Vice President. And we are here today in this podcast, the After School Hours from Tiniciti Corporate Solutions and Education Management, where we discuss the latest on education, matters, and innovative children opportunities available with professionals and experienced field experts.
This is our episode number 1. Yay! And it's very glad to have Lorena Coyle here as our first guest.
Oh my God, what an honor. Thank you so much for inviting me.
We're super excited. Okay, so you're Lorena Coyle, and Lorena Coyle comes to us from Mexico, and she is a human relations expert.
Correct.
So tell me, Lorena, how did you get into human relations?
The first thing I'm going to say to you is that if you ask my daughter, which she's half Mexican, she'll tell you that my name is Lorena Coyle. But if you ask my husband, he'll say that my name is Lorena Coyle.
pretty difference.
Yeah.
Pretty nice difference.
How did I get into human relations, studying all about that? I think it just came natural to me. I think that, you guys have a preschool, and I'm sure you guys have this little kid who's always walking around, always hugging other kids,
Just
always.
one.
Well, maybe you have like 100. Well, imagine that I was one of those 100 kids, So I think the path was very obvious to me from a very early age. Yeah, to get into, what I do right now.
That's really cool.
Right. Well, also you're a mom, wife. So in this first program, we want to talk about the point of view as a mother about all this around is happening, about the importance of emotional stability or emotional well-being. So
I think it has been a challenge for everyone right now, just because of the pandemic. It got us all in shock of what's going on. And I think at the beginning it was more like, well, this is gonna pass fast and this is gonna pass soon. But I get, we are like 5 months into this thing, and I truly see now how not only the parents but also the kids are getting like a little anxious, because it's like, their routines have changed completely.
Of course.
The routine of my kid has changed completely, and my kid is a very social little kid, as like someone
Yes.
So for her, transferring from a contact, social with other kids into a more technology, it has been a very, very difficult for her and for for the entire family.
Mm-hmm. And nobody shows how to do that. They need to learn during the time, right?
Yeah, and we think that it affects less to kids, but I think it's about the same.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the kids these days are all technology. You would think that they'd be in heaven right now. They're home, they're in their element, which is technology, computers, virtual interaction, but that's not the case, is it?
It's not the case. And you know what it is? I think it has a lot to do with the environment that we're having at home right now. If you're a mom that used to go to work every single day and you would spend X amount of month with the kids, now you are in the house all the time. And before it was only your work. Now it's like, how am I going to separate everything in the house? Now it's my job that I'm doing in the house. Now it's my kids. Now it's my husband. Now it's that whole like dynamic within the house.
Yeah,
it changed too. It was not the same to see Ilana at 3 in the afternoon, after I have done everything that I need to do, and now it's like I see her in the morning. I think I never spend that much time with her that I spend it right now.
Yes,
and it's worse because when she was a baby, at least she didn't talk. Now she talks back. So yeah, it's been quite interesting.
I know a lot of our parents, especially at school, I have conversations with them. I don't have kids, but I feel your pain.
You don't have your own kids, but you have like about 200 in
I know.
Tiniciti.
Yes.
And I heard they're all yours.
I know.
They feel like
working in
all
preschool
around
does
Andy.
feel like they're yours, and a lot of my friends, they keep talking about this. The dynamic changes. A lot of them are going crazy. We're talking about pairing wines now with different classes. So apparently rosés go with math and so on and so forth. But the topic seems to be emotional stability.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I don't think anybody really has a full definition on. I think there's so many factors outside of this that are constantly changing. And I think that this forced us to have this specific conversation, which wasn't really a subject that we talked about before. So with that being said,
Yeah,
Healthy.
I would like to know what's the difference between a child or an adult emotional stability. How can we diffuse the differences between?
There is no difference between one and another. I think it is the same in terms of like, it would affect exactly the same, because emotional stability is about the capacity that I have to acknowledge, to be conscious, and to manage my emotions
And express sometimes.
and
no?
express
Your
my
of
emotions
course.
too. And right now, because of the quarantine, I think there are many adults, they are not, you know managing their emotions, and they're doing it just like the kids too. So I think that if you're a parent right now and you listen to this, it's very important that you have the capacity to control your own emotions, to manage your own emotions, so that doesn't affect your kids, because the kids are exactly a reflection of what's going on within the parents.
And in terms of that, tell us about how can it could affect your productivity, because you're a woman that have a lot of things to do at work and going here, going there. How can affect that kind of experience? How can affect, because probably some people is hearing us and having the same situation.
Oh, it affects tremendously, because imagine, like, you used to have an environment where it was like nobody screaming. I mean, we see all these videos of like all these parents on Zoom with the kids like climbing on
course.
them.
Yeah.
It's like, and now what is the milk? Or my kid is like, can I please have ice cream in the middle of my sessions, because she knows I'm gonna say yes.
Of course.
Because I'm
That-
not gonna,
yeah.
I'm not gonna put like my mean mommy face in front of like,
Oh,
some
you're gonna
coaching
say,
that I'm
yeah.
doing. I'm like,
Yeah,
sure,
sure.
baby, of course. We'll talk later. Watching you.
Okay.
Watching. I know
Yes.
exactly what you're doing. I give birth to you. I know what you're doing. But I think it is affecting it tremendously, because their dynamics has changed, and there is way more stress right now than it used to be in the past. So just as a side note, to have a place, because I know you guys were open the entire time with the lockdown, because
We
of
were.
your you put like a lot of efforts of like keeping the environment very secure. I think places like this is amazing, because it's like, sometimes maybe I'm working from home, but I need a break. So if I have a place where I can just go like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, and I think that was the concept when we decided to keep Tiniciti open. We realized that it was a risk, which is why we took every possible precaution. But we also understood that yes, you're at home, but that doesn't mean you don't stop working. And quite the contrary. My friends and people that I know, I was being told that they were working 11-hour days. How do you do that with a toddler running around? How do you do both? For you said, like in a Zoom call, you can't really put on the mean mommy face. You got to be dressed professional. You can't really be seen on camera slapping your kid around.
No, you can. They will be very bad.
So
Or probably, exactly. Probably you can, but it won't work
It
with the.
won't be.
Exactly.
They will
I
have
think-
evidence that what you're doing. You don't want any evidence.
Exactly.
They'll have a camera there.
although I really think at this point, I think even your boss would be like, yeah, you
No,
slug
you know
around.
what? I think it changed. The expectations that they have now, it changed. I think as a working mom, like I work from home, and mind you, I work from home, and I think it got to the point where I needed my husband to go to work, and I needed Ilana to go, because from 9 a.m., this is my work environment. This is no home anymore for me. I do have a routine, and my routine was very affected. My productivity went down by a lot, because it's like I need to cook breakfast now, which I never do. Now I need to make lunch. No, it's only dinner served in this house. Like, no. And then I find myself doing many things that I used to not do before. So yeah, productivity of course, went down.
No, I agree. So, okay, we're going to come to a point, and hopefully soon, where people are going to go back to work. One of the conversations we've had before with a lot of parents is there's always that question about daycare, and specifically, employers are looking at putting daycares on site. The argument being, unfortunately, as a preschool, our hands are tied as far as what we can do with kids and what we can't. Sometimes we have to call parents over the silliest things because we simply can't do anything. And for some parents, that means getting out of work, driving to wherever the preschool is. It's not going to take you anything less than 30 minutes at the preschool to resolve whatever situation, figuring out what you to do with your child, and then coming back to work. Now that poses a huge problem, because from an employer's point of view, your productivity goes down. Those are hours that are wasted. So, what are your thoughts on having an on-site preschool where, in essence, your child is taken care of? If something happens, you literally just have to go down a few flights of stairs or maybe cross the street at best. And I feel like, as a mom, does that give you peace of mind knowing that your
Saving
child is
time.
that? Yeah.
You know what? I think everything that you said, I agree, but I will add something else. If your kid needs emotional support at the moment, and you can just go down and give that kid a hug, or maybe if you have your lunch break and you have never eat lunch with your kid and your kid is little and you have the opportunity to have lunch dates with your kid, often, I think if you add that to everything that you said, it's very important.
Yeah, right. And I think I would also think, that it's that comfort that that your child is right there. As a mom, I'm sure you have a bond with your child, and no matter what, in the back of your head, you're always thinking, is she okay? What's going on? Yes. And, knowing that she's that close, you can always check in on her.
And not only as a mom, but think about it. Sometimes fathers, they feel like they are no part of
the growing process.
The growing process. So if you ask me, I think I will send Ilana to her father's childcare.
Of course.
So they can bond even more.
Yes.
Because we are talking about moms, but the truth is that dads, yeah. And I have you, obviously, because you were a mom, but dads also have this conversation. And although not as popular, dads do want to have that bond, And traditionally speaking, they don't have that opportunity because normally mommy takes care of daycare.
Mm-hmm.
And now with the new dynamic of the families, things have changed.
Yeah.
So I guess it's, what other benefits are there, in your opinion?
Well, just what I said, the emotional benefit that you can have, if you need to see your kid right away, if your kid needs a hug, if you can have a lunch day with your kid, that will help, definitely help emotionally the kid. Yeah.
And productivity, as you told us.
Of course. Not being working at home with 3 kids screaming at your head, of course, it increases productivity. For sure.
No, of course. And then in a work environment, I'm sure, that also helps you do your work better. The fact that you're more focused and you're more likely to, hand things in quicker and, have that focus on work and not have your child in the back of your mind like, oh my God, are they going to call me from school? Are they okay?
Yeah, I need to run to go.
Exactly.
Is everything
and
happened?
even just knowing that your child is across the street or in the same building.
In the same building, right?
Both of you are moms, so you can weigh in on this too.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a nice idea and a nice project, I think.
I think so too.
So if you give a message to the companies right now, because I know a lot of human resource people are out there, and I know with all the restructuring that's going on, they're trying to think of solutions and incentives really to keep their employees. Personally, if
you think about something and let's say the companies start opening their business again, and you don't want to have so many interactions because of COVID, and you want to keep everybody in the same building, and you want to test everyone in the same building, they're all negative, and on top of that, you're going to bring your kid here. So I think it will also give you a peace of mind to know that you are in the same building, that everybody stays negative, and we are all protecting each other.
Exactly.
Instead of my kid is somewhere else, and then maybe he got something somewhere else, and then you're gonna bring him, and then it's gonna affect my business. Yeah. So I think it will be a good idea just to at this moment when safety and health is so important, to keep everybody on the same in the same environment, and so there is no mixing.
Excellent.
Well, my final question to you.
Mixing is sneezes.
And no, it's very true. When we remained open, one of the things we had a conversation with the teachers about were, please be sure we can control what you're doing. But then you come home, and what are your loved ones doing? Where are they going?
Correct.
And you're absolutely right. Those are things that are out of your control. But you also have to keep in consideration that we have to have a safe environment. So I guess my last question to you is, okay, a lot of companies offer the benefit, or a package of benefits, among which, is a one for healthcare. And I kind of feel that this goes hand in hand. It's not physical healthcare, but it's emotional well-being healthcare. Do you think that's something that should be considered among, that same package that comes in under healthcare?
I'm not an expert, and I don't want to say something that I don't know.
Okay. But in your opinion?
But as a mom, I think it will benefit, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Perfect, guys. Well, I think we covered everything.
And that was our
It
first
got,
podcast.
it got a little too serious.
No, yeah, I know.
I got a little too serious, but I'm glad we had fun today.
Yeah.
But thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for being our
thank
first
you.
guest. And yes, you're right. This
On
is our
behalf of
first
Tiny
podcast.
City Preschool Corporate Solutions, we want to thank you, Lorena.
Thank
It
you
was
so
amazing
much.
to having you
Thank
here.
you. I appreciate it.
No, and thank you guys too for watching. Please look forward to interviews that we will be having. Thank you guys. Thank you again. Lorena, one more thing.
Yes,
What
don't
happened?
forget this.
Yes, before you go, your little elevator pitch, so to speak. Tell us about yourself. What do you want to tell your audience about you, what you do, how do we reach you?
Yes, your
Okay,
social media.
my social media is Lorena Coyle. You can find me anywhere with that name. It's Coyle with a Coyle, and I do have a website. It's lorenacoyle.com, and if you Google me and YouTube and everything, you're gonna find a lot of things. Just what my kids say, Mommy, I Googled your name and you are everywhere. This is a funny story. She says, I didn't know that you were famous. Ilana, I'm not famous, but you are everywhere. And then she says to me, Mommy, but nobody knows that I'm your kid.
Oh.
Nobody here says that you have a daughter named Ilana Coyle. And I said to her, because you don't want to be the daughter of Lorena Coyle. You want to be Ilana Coyle. You are Ilana Coyle. You're going to build your own name.
Yeah, which is
then,
enough.
Which is enough. And then she got like, you're right.
All right.
I am not the daughter of Lorena Coyle. I am myself, and I am Ilana Coyle. So, yeah. It's a message for everyone else out there, make sure that your kid has their own identity and has their own name and, and
So
builds confidence.
Please follow her. She has a website. She also has a book that she just launched.
Yes, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say the title of the...
Of course you are.
But how do you say that in English?
Say it in Spanish.
El día que dejé de hacerme la pendeja.
Nada más.
Nada más.
Ahí se los dejamos.
Very interesting.
It's in Amazon.
But it's a great read, though.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much
Thank
for
you
joining
very
us.
much.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.